My aunt wasn't crying at my grandfather's funeral. In Grandpa's shaky handwriting, it read, "Daniel, remember what I said. Real value is hidden. Check the coordinates." I unfolded the papers. It was a land deed, but not for a house and not for a commercial building. It was for a patch of barren, desert scrubland about 50 miles outside the city. I looked it up on my phone. It was in the middle of nowhere, just rocks and dirt. It seemed worthless. I went to sleep thinking I had failed. The next morning, purely out of curiosity, I drove out to the location. I had to see it. When I got there, I didn't see a barren wasteland. I saw trucks, massive industrial drilling trucks, and a team of men in hard hats. I panicked. I ran over to them. "Hey, what are you doing? This is private property." A man in a white suit walked over to me. He looked like a serious businessman. "Are you Daniel?" he asked. I nodded, confused. "We've been trying to find the owner of this land for 3 years. Your grandfather wouldn't sell. He said he was saving it for someone special."
"Why?" I asked. "It's just dirt." The man smiled and pulled out a geological survey map. "Son, do you have any idea what you're standing on? This isn't just dirt. This land is sitting directly on top of one of the largest, purest lithium deposits in the state. With the electric car boom, this dirt is more valuable than gold." I froze. The papers in the box were the unrestricted mineral and ownership deeds. Grandpa knew. He knew all along. The mining company didn't just want to buy the land. They wanted to lease the mining rights. I sat in a boardroom 3 days later and signed a deal. The signing bonus alone was $4.5 million. Plus, I retained 5% royalties on all minerals extracted for the next 20 years. In one signature, I went from homeless to a multi-millionaire. But the story doesn't end there. The money was great, but the justice? That was sweet. About a month later, I was looking at penthouse apartments in the city when my phone rang. It was Mr. Henderson, the lawyer. "Daniel," he said, his voice sounding, "your Aunt Karen is in my office. She wants to see you, urgently." I drove to the lawyer's office, but this time I wasn't taking the bus. I pulled up in my brand new Audi R8. I walked into the office wearing a tailored suit. When I entered the room, the vibe had completely changed. Aunt Karen was sitting there, but the smirk was gone. She looked sick. Her skin was pale, her eyes were red from crying, and her hands were shaking. "Daniel," she thanked God you're here. "What's wrong, Auntie?" I asked, sitting down comfortably. "Enjoying the mansion?" She put her head in her hands. "It's a trap. It was all a trap." It turned out Grandpa had played the long game. The mansion she inherited? Grandpa had taken out 3 massive mortgages on it to fund his business years ago. The debt on the house was higher than its value. It was underwater. The luxury cars? They were all leased under the company name, and the leases were expiring that month. And the business accounts? They were technically empty, but they were attached to the company's tax profile. The company owed the IRS over $500,000 in back taxes. By fighting so hard to be the sole beneficiary of the physical property and the business, she had legally accepted all the liabilities and debts attached to them. She didn't inherit wealth. She inherited about $4 million in immediate debt. She was drowning. The bank was foreclosing on her own house to cover the costs. She fell to her knees, grabbing my hand, crying, "Daniel, please. We are family. You have to help me. Grandpa wouldn't want this. I'm going to lose everything." I looked down at her. I remembered her tagging the furniture. I remembered her kicking me out. I remembered her laughing at my rusty box. I pulled my hand away, smiled, and said, "Grandpa gave you exactly what you wanted, Karen. You wanted the appearance of wealth. I got the real value." I stood up to leave. "And sorry, Auntie, I can't help you. I only have an old, rusty lunchbox. What could I possibly afford?" I walked out of that office, and I have never spoken to her since. Today, I'm traveling the world, investing in startups, and living the life Grandpa wanted for me. And my aunt? She had to declare bankruptcy. She lost her business, her house, and her car. Last I heard, she's working as a receptionist at a dental clinic, living in a tiny rented apartment, dodging debt collectors. Guys, this is what we call instant karma. Greed blinded her, but patience gave me everything. If you enjoyed this story, smash that like button and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay safe.